So it's the morning. I'm just having my coffee. I haven't fixed my hair yet. I'm just chilling out on the bed slash couch. And so surely you've heard. This is just my opinion. It's what I believe. Um, of course, I'm pretty sure I'm right, but um, surely you've heard of the data centers that are going up everywhere, and how important this is to the super wealthy people who hoard their lordship over us. It's super important to them. But what we know, or what we can see, is that those who control the money, what is most important to them is retaining control and increasing control. So we can kind of just jump to the conclusion, I think, that those data centers are not going to be something that are going to act as a mechanism for freeing us from the control of oligarchs or the tyrannical oppressors who use money to control global society. And that's really what this whole thing is coming down to. Is ever since the fall in the garden, and ever since we have chosen, instead of following the creator, but we have chosen, back as recorded in the book of Judges, at least for the Israelite people, when we began to demand that human beings rule over us instead of us ruling over our own beings in accordance with righteousness of God, everything has been leading to this moment. And so what we have as a result of human beings, of our demand for human beings to rule over us because we refuse to rule over our own beings in accordance with the righteousness of the Creator. As a result of that, what we have today is a group of people who are establishing a completely global control grid using money and resources and material wealth in order to increase and gain control over the entire world's population. And so, what we have and what we can witness coming together right now is the coalition of leadership, aka the control grid, the oligarchs, the those people who are part of the bloodline or have, just the people who control the money and the wealth and the resources. That few, however many there are up at the top of the pyramid, who control everybody through the distribution of wealth and who they let into the club, and all their influence over the governments, because governments are completely corrupted now, and they may always have been. But so what we're seeing, in my opinion, with these data centers is just the next step in the evolution of the beast system. I expect to see a completely digital currency, and they will sell it, by saying, "Oh, there won't be fraud, won't be you won't be able to be robbed. Fraud and scams won't be able to do this because we'll be able to control this, and this, and everything else." Um, and they'll spin it. So that's one of the things that I learned when I got into real low level city government stuff for a while in Pendleton, Oregon, when I was doing the I was general manager for the farmers market there, and I got involved just a little, just enough to make me sick in how the political process kind of goes, and I saw it, and it made me so sick, and I couldn't continue with the propaganda BS that was required for me to fulfill my obligations as the general manager of the Pendleton Farmers Market. And so what I saw there was, what's like number one is when you come up and against a problem or a difficulty or something, you spin it. You spin it, and you so if you have a problem or difficulty and you're in like the public eye, say you come upon like a difficulty with, maybe, I don't know, electricity, right? So you aren't able to get enough electricity or something to some location. So then what they would want you to do is if that would have to go public, then you would spin that around and turn it around to be like selling yourself as being more electrically efficient or more green or something like that. But the fact is that you couldn't get electricity to some location or something like that. But what they want you to do is you spin it. You spin it around to make it sound like it's something that is good, something that you chose to do, and something that elevates you in the eye of the public. And that, I could just see it for what it was, the political bullshit game. It made me so sick. And I realized that that's what they do. And they use all sorts of information that they receive. They study the public, and they determine how they should spin things in accordance with what they want to promote for the future control systems globally. So spin is huge. I don't know if that made any sense. I did my best to, but that's spinning something. You spin something. So you have something that acts as like a shortcoming or something that's not good for you, and you're in the public eye. You spin that around so it's something that's positive in their sight. And then that plays such a huge role in politics. I could not participate with that because that's a level of BS that I don't BS. I don't lie, and I strive towards honesty, truth, in following Jesus Christ. So, my belief is that data centers are the latest installment of the mechanism of the beast system that we are witnessing on the face of the earth. And it's going to be, currency is going to be digitized, and people will probably be, depending, I'm not sure what they're going to do. But AI and robotics has already taken lots of jobs, and there aren't enough jobs for people anyway. So they're either going to let global unrest and food shortages and things like this play out, and going to let these horrible difficulties come across the world stage, because one of their mottos is order out of chaos. I can't remember what that is in Latin, but I think it's even printed on dollar bills, or it's one of their main mottos that they have is order out of chaos. So they'll create chaos worldwide, or wars and regimes and things, and they'll use that opportunity to reestablish leaders that go along with what they want and things like this. So they use chaos in order to like have coups and like reformulate governments worldwide and things like this. That's what they're doing in Iran right now. They're doing something, they're creating chaos over there, and they're doing stuff behind the scenes that we can't really see, but they feed us certain things for their purposes using the propaganda machine of media and everything else. That's why controlling the narrative is so important, because that's a huge thing. You have to control the narrative, and that's why another reason the data centers, since basically all our communication for the most part now goes through the airwaves or whatever, they're gonna have even more control over that, and they're gonna be using that to control public opinion through the information and misinformation and stuff that we receive. So essentially, all these data centers is the next installment of the beast system, and digitized currency. Whether they're going to do the order out of chaos and they're going to let people, or they're going to do like, we're just going to have to wait and see what they're going to do. But I'll tell you what, this was on prophesied a long time ago, and so this gives people opportunity who are more prone or who are chosen to wake up to what's really going on. But everything was known beforehand, so those of us, we can just watch it play out, and we're coming down to the I believe that we're coming down to the final result of his plan and what has happened because we've chosen as we have chosen, as he knew we would, throughout history. And so we just get to watch history play out, and those of us who are fortunate enough to have been given the belief, this isn't too much of a surprise. Actually, I'm not surprised. Everything that comes down the pipe for me is expected, and so one of the things I have to sit back and watch as people are shocked of the next installment of the beast system, and they're, but and all I can do is sit back, try not to shove anything down anybody's throat, and just let them be enlightened as God decides, and then watch this process as whoever, I'm not sure completely how it works, but I believe that He's got everything under control, and so we just have to hang in there, and broken record, but hang in there, follow Jesus Christ, is all there is to it.